Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 4 Veer-submitted levels, so in this part I'll be covering at least 4 or 5 more Veer-submitted levels, starting out with this one, Drill Chase Castle by Ghoul Reaper, with 63 plays and a score of 16. As always, if you want one of our levels to be featured in a part like this one, please leave both the level name and level ID either in the comment section below or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for all the levels that I cover in these parts, so if you want to check if the levels covered, expand the description. So this is going to be a fortress stage, I presume. And we start out with a full set of special weaponry, as well as the Proto Strike. No rolling drills yet though. Ah, here they are. Actually, I may want to keep them alive. They may be useful after all. I mean, I'm moving at the same rate as the rolling drills on this conveyor belt. Now here comes the challenge. I still needed them there in order to destroy the ground, I see. A lot of gyres there, but for some reason the game isn't slowing down. I guess it's due to their simpler path. I'm not sure why though. In previous stages, if there were that many gyres, the game would basically be unplayable. And, that's the end of the stage already. Kinda disappointing, I was hoping for the stage to go by at least 3 to 4 times longer. I mean, the rolling drills are a nice gimmick, and I'd like to see them taken further in the fortress level. But they're only used once here, combined with the conveyor belts, and I just felt like that was like an introductory segment. Second level on the lineup is Burnt Sand Palace version 2 by Gokuless, with 17 plays and a score of 1. This is going to be similar to Palace Frozen in Time, in the sense that if I do the Buster Only route, the stage is going to be much shorter. But if I decide to go for all special weapons, in the weapon relay order, it's going to be at least 50% longer. In the Buster Only pathway, the stage will take only 32 screens, but if I decide to go for all special weapons, which I will do, it'll go up to about 59 to 60 screens long. But remember, just like in Palace Frozen in Time, it follows a weapon relay sense of progression, meaning that if you miss a special weapon earlier in the chain, you will not be able to collect the next special weapon in the chain. Whereas that stage was a frozen palace, this one is a sandy palace. Specifically, a fire/sandy palace. And the level creator did mention that you should pay attention to some of the quicksand emitters, because there is some stuff hidden there. And this looks awfully suspicious with these 2 fire bars, so I'll go down over here. The previous segment looked like it was a dead pit, but here it looks like it transitions to somewhere. And I was right, it leads over to the fair shot. And that also looks suspicious to the left over there. I'm going to be paying special attention to all these quicksand emitters in case there are any secret transitions to the left, right, or down. Thankfully there are no transitions going upwards on quicksand. Oh, I see here. Basically, I need to spawn an item tree over here, so once it reaches the apex or the first gap, it'll stop over there and I'll be able to slide on top of it. As such. Well, that was easy. Every one of these sections following gaining a special weapon will be tailor-made to the special weapon or utility's needs and pros and cons. Like here, it's tailor-made to item tree, and the previous section was tailor-made to the fair shot's abilities, especially its diagonal firing patterns. And just like in Palace Frozen in Time, this stage is perfectly doable buster only. But overall, I feel it's more rewarding if you go for all the special weapons and unlockables. And here's where the two pathways link up with each other. But of course, if you want to gain access to the Power Stone, you need access to Item Tree. And in order to gain access to Item Tree, you need to have access to the Fair Shot. Hence the Weapon Chain comment or Weapon Relay comment. And here we gain access to Oil Slider, so the trek down shouldn't be too difficult. Damage boosting notwithstanding. And it should make this following section a lot easier too. I mean, using this I can just outrun the fire bars. I can either go up, or if I have access to Oil Slider, I can go to the right and gain my next special weapon. I do like how this stage has replayability with two separate routes of sorts. The first route is just the pure Mega Buster route, the second route is a combination of the Mega Buster route and the special pathways that you can only access by using the special weapons. Like here, for example, this section is definitely tailor-made for the Oil Slider due to its arcing shots, as well as the fact you can just phase through enemies, and jump between each of these platforms. And here we gain access to the checkpoint and the water wave. The checkpoint placement of this stage is on the generous side, and I'm really thankful there are these semi-frequent life energy and weapon energy respawners. So you're very unlikely to run out of special weapon energy and be forced to reset to the last checkpoint. And apparently the water wave can just delete these fire bars. It kinda reminds me of how the Star Crash does it as well, because it just poofs them into non-existent. But here it works better than the Star Crash because the Star Crash can only delete one of these fire bars, but the Water Wave can just delete a whole series of them. That's some odd behavior there. And me just failing the timing completely. It seems that when you spawn the water wave next to a barrier or wall, it can have some rather odd behaviors as you see over there. But once again, I'm really thankful for these frequent checkpoints, usually spaced right after you get a special weapon, just before and following getting a special weapon and completing its respective section. And to the left of me is the normal route, the one I would have taken if I did it Buster only. I should also keep a lookout for the Proto Man capsule because it is hidden here somewhere. I just wanted to double check if Gokuless decided to place a capsule there, or put a screen transition down over there. I saw something fall down there. Let me take a look. Oh, never mind, it was just yarn balls, and apparently that Tama just decided to jump off the footholders by accident. Whoops. We were supposed to fight the boss over there in the normal route, but of course, because I have access to Water Wave, I'll be able to take the lower route. Which leads over to the Ice Slasher. So now I can just freeze up those fire bars. I will say one thing though, some of these sections are more difficult than others. Like the Oil Slider segment was definitely more difficult than the Water Wave and Ice Slasher segments. And on the left over here would be fighting this mini-boss room of sorts, against those two totem pole ends and two hotheads. And I guess this is the point of no return now. Well, the second point of no return, because there was one other point of no return in the first set of boss doors. And we fight Fairman. I think I'm missing some special weapons though. I'll have to double check. For one, I missed the Proto Man capsule. But Fairman's weakness is the Ice Slasher here, and usually the boss in these stages is weak against the final special weapon in the chain. I'll have to use the level editor to figure out where the Proto Man capsule was. Overall, a pretty good stage. I still liked Palace Frozen in Time base mode more than this one, but still, this was a rather decent offering. Alright, here we are in the level editor. Let's take a look at the pathways I overlooked. Mainly the Mega Buster only pathways. Once again, it adds to replayability. You can take the normal Mega Buster only route, or you can go for all the special weapons. In fact, I got all the special weapons throughout this level. The only thing I missed was the Proto Man capsule somewhere. I thought I was missing a special weapon because in Palace Frozen in Time, both the Mega Man mode and base mode, there were a lot more special weapons that you could unlock. Well, this hot dog encounter is at least challenging because of these fire bars and spikes. Especially if you don't have access to the Water Wave or Ice Slasher. This poor Tama mini-boss, it kept falling off the footholders. Okay, the level editor decided to lag over there for some reason. Huh, strange. I think I went throughout this level, but I can't find the Proto Man capsule. Because I know the level designer told me that Proto Man is somewhere. Then again, I may have overlooked the capsule when I was searching throughout the stages, aka his capsule may have blended in with the background. Oh well, Gokuless can point out in the comment section where I'm missing it. It's very likely to be in the weapon capsule route. Because I combed through all of these areas. Oh, I see. This section, where I saw there was a gap in the spikes. This gap in the spikes is a bit different because here I see a quicksand emitter going down over here. But over here, there's just a complete gap in between here with no quicksand coming down. So this is where the Proto Man capsule is, of course. And 2 E-Tanks and 1 M-Tank. I should have paid closer attention here. I know Gokuless did a similar thing for Palace Frozen in Time version 1 with Mega Man. So overall, a pretty good stage. I'd say at least 7 out of 10 or 7.5 out of 10. Third level on the lineup is Deserted Unobtainium Mine by Darkness CX, with 52 plays and a score of 12. This was made for the latest Mega Man Maker level design challenge. In this, level designers had to create a stage where Proto Man took double damage. He started out with the puny needle cannon, and it took place in a deserted or apocalyptic environment. In fact, this is the same challenge that Dolphin participated in with their previous stage Proto-Apocalypse. Thankfully for this stage, we quickly gain access to the drill bomb. Like I mentioned in my playthrough of Proto-Apocalypse by Dolphin, I feel the needle cannon is more of a punishment than a reward as a special weapon. It just feels so weak, one of the worst special weapons in Mega Man Maker. If the spines still clung to enemies if you switch to another special weapon, similar to how the Ice Slasher still freezes enemies in place after you switch special weapons, it would have some niche. And apparently going to the right was just for the drill bomb. Good thing I went to the right first. Thankfully I can quick swap special weapons to increase the DPS of the needle cannon. Remember, each of the needle cannon needles deals 0.5 points of damage compared to the base Proto Buster. Thank you for the full refill here, in terms of life energy and weapon energy. And adding to the difficulty stage, other than my weak base weapon, is the fact that Proto Man takes double damage here. But in comparison to Dolphin stage, this is much easier. And I feel that the challenges are introduced in a better environment, and there isn't a difficulty spike. Well, the difficulty spike in Dolphin's level wasn't that much, but it was a difficulty spike nonetheless. Is this an alternate route, or is this where I should go? Let me take a look on the right side. Never mind. The right doesn't lead to anything. It just looks so much like a place you would put an E-tank or something. In contrast, the pathway to the left actually leads to something, in this case the Hyper Bomb, so thank you Darkness. All these special weapons make this stage a lot easier. And the checkpoint placement is on a generous side as well. Whoops, I forgot to do a slide jump over there. The slower movement kind of threw me off. But that was mostly my fault, not the level designer's fault. I gotta say, I like the usage of the quicksand emitters in this level. And I guess this is the end of the stage. It's a bit longer than the traditional stages, but it works. Longer by about 5 to 10 screens, I'd say. Time to fight Bomb Man. Oh, I see. Thankfully his weakness is a drill bomb. And also you can outlast Bomb Man by just knocking him into the pit, either through the usage of his own bombs or usage of your own hyper bombs. In comparison to the other quote-unquote proto-apocalypse stage, I like this one better. Better challenge progression and better usage of gimmicks. Fourth level on the lineup is Area 32 by Jee Pocket, with 49 plays and a score of 17. And it appears that it's going to be at least 20 to 30 screens long, so about the same length as the previous stage. And we start out with the Magnet Missile and Ice Slasher. That looks rather suspicious over there, but I won't risk it. Judging by all these other pits, I get the impression that the first one was just a pit, just for these two beetles to fall into. Overall, this feels like a nice fortress level, or a secret facility. It also has the appropriate length of a fortress level. I'd say this would fit well in Mega Man 5, judging by the soundtrack and the level design. Even though this battle arena is a bit simpler, adding in those 4 gaps in the floor does make it a bit more challenging because there's a risk of falling through, especially because we're fighting Charge Man. I'll give it a thumbs up. I like the previous stage more, but this is a par to almost above par stage. A bit forgettable, but the design is solid at the very least. Fifth and final level of the part is Blasting Zone by Tylerbot, with 10 plays and a score of 0. This level also has the honor of being the 800th level I've ever covered throughout this LP series, so congratulations Tylerbot. This is also a remake of one of the more difficult levels that Tylerbot created, so let's see how this one fares. And I spy a checkpoint up over there. I guess I'll be teleported back over there once I gain access to the dive missile. And I see once I jump down over there into that side path, I'll gain access to the dive missile. Several of Tylerbot's stages have these side pathways where you can gain access to optional special weapons to make the stage a bit easier. And I guess this stage is going to focus on the count bombs and other explosives. This was definitely more difficult to get compared to the rolling cutter and electrical utility tower. A lot more instant death basically. Same here. In order to survive over here, you need to be quick on your feet. Oh, okay, good. I thought I needed to make a leap of faith from the left, but no, we only need to jump into that teleporter. And for completing that segment, we gain access to the dive missile. Already this stage is a bit harder than Electrical Utility Tower, and most of the other stages I played by Tylerbot. And And I guess it's only gonna get harder from here on out. Let's try going for that E-tank over there. Not letting up with the quick reactions, I see. And having access to the dive missile makes this segment a lot easier. Especially because of those missile fish. And there's me failing to jump. Wonderful. Well, I guess I won't be gaining access to the E-tank here. Oh, never mind. This allows me to repeat this segment. Thank you, Tylerbot. And again, because I missed that jump. There we go, third time's a charm. And we're back over here with a checkpoint. Thank you for putting checkpoints right after getting the E-tank as well as the weapon capsule, so we don't need to repeat those segments. And that was me not paying attention. This is a neat setup though, using the conveyor belts to slow down those count bombs. And again, I forgot about the explosions radius. Even with all these deaths, I'm having fun with this stage. It's more difficult than usual, but hey, it's enjoyable. And that was just poor direction on my part. Poor timing and facing the wrong direction. If I do it this way, it's a lot easier. If I stood in place on those count bombs, I wouldn't have died 3 times here. Also, thank you for putting a checkpoint over here, because Tylerbot correctly anticipated that players would die repeatedly here. This stage definitely lives up to its name of being Blasting Zone, what with all these walking bombs and count bombs. That looks oddly suspicious, so I will go for it. It probably leads to an extra E or M tank. No, it's just for some extra life energy capsules. Fine with me. And just like with Electrical Utility Tower, having the unlockable special weapon makes these segments a lot easier, although more so here with the dive missile as opposed to the rolling cutter. And in several of these segments, even if you destroy the wrong count bomb, there are several places where you can reset the challenge without dying. And here's the mini-boss room, aka this Gachapon. You need to destroy quickly so the floor beneath you doesn't just cave in, or rather blow up in your face. This was definitely the most difficult level by Talibot I've ever played, mainly due to all the instant death hazards, bombless pits, and enemy placements. Gaining access to the dive missile makes this stage a lot easier, but even then, you need to have quick reactions for this stage. It's definitely designed for at least intermediate Mega Man players. Beginner to sort of intermediate Mega Man players will have trouble with this stage. You need to know in advance how the count bombs work, basically. Overall, an explosively enjoyable level. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Nice difficulty curve, and a nice combination of gimmicks near the end. It definitely gets a thumbs up by me, and is my favorite level of the part. My honorable mention of the part would be Burnt Sand Palace version 2 by Gokuless. So in the next part, I'll be covering several more viewers-submitted levels. Well then, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Toodles!